What's going on, people? Myke C-Town here with another episode of Records and Ramblings. Before we get to the records, let's do a teeny bit of rambling. I want to start this off by saying rest in peace to Hank Von Hell, legendary frontman of the band Turbo Negro, one of my favorite punk bands. He passed away on November 19th, and I haven't made a video since then until now, so yeah, talking about it now. Really, really sad, man. I saw Hank Von Hell play with his band a few years back, and it was just fantastic. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that I've put his two records. Both were in my favorite albums of that particular year that they came out. And yeah, I'm really, really sad to see his passing. It's very tragic. But we're going to start off by showing a record that I haven't shown, which is his last album. This is Hank Von Hell's Dead. This was one of my favorite albums of last year. I don't know, the one before it was great, punk rock that was more reminiscent of Turbo Negro, whereas this one is more of a sleazy rock record. I'd always hoped that he'd get back with Turbo Negro at some point, but that just never happened. Or at least play a few reunion shows or something. This is like a purple-ish, I don't know what color, lilac or some shit color. But yeah, I at least wanted him to play, Jesus, Myke. A couple reunion shows or something with Turbo Negro, because not to be disrespectful, I'm not really a fan of the guy that came after Hank. He just doesn't do it for me. But yeah, if you're a fan of Turbo Negro, I assume you've already heard this album. If you're not a fan of Turbo Negro, please make yourself a fan of Turbo Negro, because they're goddamn good. And yeah, if you haven't listened to the Hank Von Hell stuff, please do so, because it was really good. And with this album, of course, being called Dead, and the lyrical themes, it was almost like he foresaw what was coming, but he presented it in just a weird, punky, just goofy kind of Hank Von Hell way. So yeah, rest in peace, Hank. Next record I'm going to show you, this is Abuse of Power with What on Earth Can We Do? This is a 2019 release from a local Atlanta hardcore band that I really, really like. Had members of Foundation, members of the band Slow Fire Pistol, and a couple other hardcore bands from Atlanta. But this one isn't much like the other bands. It has kind of like a DC hardcore edge to it, like Rites of Spring mixed with Ignition, mixed with Instead or something. But yeah, it's really good, straightforward hardcore with excellent riffs. I heard that they broke up. I'm not exactly sure if that is true or not, but hopefully it's not, because this is their one and only full length, and I would love to get another record by them. Let me also throw a quick plug out there, man. One of the guys that's in this band, I don't remember his name, unfortunately. His name is... Well, his name's not in the record sleeve, so I don't remember his name. But either way, one of the guys from the band opened up a store called Disorder Vinyl in Atlanta, and it's like a punk and hardcore record store, and it's fucking awesome. Amazing selection, amazing prices. If you live in Atlanta or you're coming through Atlanta and you like punk, hardcore, they even have some like indie rock, some metal, but not a lot. But yeah, if you're coming through Atlanta, stop by there. The guy that owns it seems like a super nice guy, and I really want it to stick around. I really do. So there you go. Check it out. We're going to stick with Atlanta for a minute and show you The Booze. Ooh, that light is just killing me, huh? The Booze with Our Favorite. So, The Booze was a garage rock band from Atlanta. I guess garage rock is about as close as you can say. I used to just call them a punk rock band, but I don't know. They're kind of like a garage rock band with a punk rock attitude. But I love this record, and I love this band. They're not a band anymore, unfortunately, but there was a time where they were one of the most popular bands in the area. I saw them many, many times, and they were always great. They definitely have that kind of 50s, 60s feel. But I don't know. I always found them very interesting and unique for the time. And a lot of fun, super catchy. I really, really miss seeing those guys play. But the albums are pretty hard to come by these days. They're a little pricey, but I think they're worth it. So, The Booze. If you see any of their records around, definitely snatch it up. Oh, and I forgot to say that this is a compilation of songs from like 3 of their albums. So yeah. The next band that I'm going to talk about is one of my all-time favorite bands, a band that I don't see get nearly the praise that they deserve. One of my crowning moments in my old band was playing a show with them in Atlanta. It was just fucking amazing. But yeah, Catharsis, man. Catharsis from North Carolina. Catharsis started out as like a heavy metallic hardcore band that was kind of like Integrity, but later they got really creative and started playing metallic hardcore with a strong crust element to it. I think I did a whole video on them a while back on this channel somewhere. But yeah, this is called Light from a Dead Star, and this is volume 1 of that. So what this is this has the entire Samsara album, which is my favorite album of theirs out of the 2. And it's also one of the best hardcore albums of all time, in my opinion. The song Pariah, if you've never heard Catharsis, go listen to that song. It's fucking awesome. But it also has the self-titled 7-inch that they put out. It's a double LP. Records are on black, won't bother showing you that. Comes with this really, really nice booklet here with lyrics and that type of thing. Really, really nice. I got this from my buddy Gavin, who does Stick Figure Records. So make sure you go check that out. I'll drop a link down there in the description section. Gavin is one of the best dudes ever and is responsible for a lot of us not fucking blowing our brains out because he provided us with hardcore shows throughout the 90s. So, yeah, anyways. This is Catharsis, Light from a Dead Star, Volume 1. Let me say Gavin and Scott MC provided us with hardcore shows. Scott MC will never see this video, and I'm sure he doesn't give a shit, but I would feel like an asshole if I left his name out of that. So, yeah. And here we have Catharsis, Light from a Dead Star. This is Volume 2. This one includes their album Passion, as well as their splits with Gehenna and their split with Newborn. It also has the last song that they ever did that was recorded back in 2001, which features Jimmy Chang, who's in Sect, which is another awesome hardcore band. That song is like 8 minutes long or something like that. It's crazy, but it's super, super good. Yeah, man, this band was really formative for me. Hold on. This booklet is really nice here. Lyrics and all that type of thing. This is another double LP. Records are on black, won't bother showing you that. But like I was saying, this band was really, really formative for me. I think a lot of people don't know how revolutionary and how antagonistic this band was, especially with their lyrics. You know, Brian was talking about extreme anarchist ideas back in the late 90s. And he was doing it in a really, really amazing way. You know, between his band and his zine Inside Front, and then the work he started with Crime Think, they introduced me to a lot of ideas that I still have today. I really regret not going to the reunion show they did back in 2013. I don't remember why I didn't go, but I wish they'd do it again. But I know Brian's really busy with doing activist and protest work. Again, still working with Crime Think. And I just love that. You know, I love when I see dudes from the old hardcore scene 20-something years later still fighting the good fight while I'm sitting here on my lazy ass making fucking YouTube videos. But yeah, I wish I'd stayed in touch with Brian. You know, he was a super intense guy, even back in the 90s, but super, super nice guy, super respectful guy. And yeah, maybe one of these days I'll shoot him an email and be like, hey, do you remember me? The only black dude in Atlanta in like 1997 or whatever it was. All right, the next record we're going to show is the split between Kukilmoku and Ebony Pendant. And I'm sure I'm mispronouncing Kuka-ilimoku. I looked it up on Google. I found 2 different pronunciations. They both said it like that, but that still doesn't sound right. But hey, man, blame Google. Don't blame Myke Seatown. But yeah, Kukilmoku is a kind of punky black metal band from Hawaii. Very fast and raw and aggressive. One of the better bands doing that sound for sure. They deal with, you know, kind of Hawaiian indigenous culture as well as anti-colonialism, which of course appeals to me quite a bit. Ebony Pendant is a black metal band from Seattle. Not quite as raw as Kukilmoku, but they're still really, really aggressive and more traditional black metal leanings, I think. Like some of their riffs even remind me of like Blizzard Beast era Immortal, which in my opinion is the best era of Immortal. Kind of mix that with like Judas Iscariot or maybe some Forgotten Woods, and you have a sort of idea of what Ebony Pendant is doing, but I think they're really, really good. Like, this is a fucking solid split. You know, two bands doing really, really, really cool stuff here. This is like a goldish vinyl. I don't remember what this was limited to. I'm sure it's gone and probably hard to find at this point. I got this directly from the guy from Kukilmoku, so I'm very happy about that. It's on Go to Warex, so you already know that it's going to be super overpriced if you try to get it off Discogs, but hey man, that's life. And the next record I'm going to show you, this is another Kukilmoku record, but this is the demo that came out right after that split that I just showed. And I did not look up how to pronounce the name of this record. It's down there in the description section, so you can just read it. And I'm not going to make any more of a fool of myself today. But yeah, this sound is actually very different from the songs that were on the split, at least in my opinion. The split stuff was a bit more produced, whereas this one is more raw and visceral sounding. But the material is just as good. Here's the inside. I really love this layout as well. It's very, very nice. Printed insert here. It's on green vinyl. And this is also on Go to Warex, so I'm sure it's gone and hard to find or impossible to find. But yeah, if you can get your hands on this, I think it's worth it. This is some nasty, nasty sounding stuff, but I think it's also very, very creative. And the last record we're going to show in this edition of Records and Ramblings, this is Old Nick with a new generation of vampire conspiracies. And yeah, this is a band that seems to piss a lot of black metal purists off, which I fucking find hilarious. But I also think the band is killer, man. I think that they just have great riffs, and they're bringing a lot of really wacky creativity to black metal without sounding too kooky or too gimmicky. This is the first of the two releases, actually no, 3 releases that they've had this year, sorry. But I'm not sure which one I like the most, but I think I like this one the most because, I don't know, man, it's fast and it's aggressive, but it's also got those super weird parts that they're known for that seem to come out of nowhere. But yeah, I don't know, man. I've said it before, but this band just kind of reminds me of if a bunch of weird punk dudes got together and just made a black metal band. But they're not doing it the kind of typical way, which is incorporating kind of crusty punk elements. Instead, it's the wacko kind of random side of punk. Like, instead of dudes who, like, you know, Destroy or Amoebics doing black metal, instead you have dudes who like bands like Schlong and the Dead Milkmen and the Cramps doing black metal. And I fucking love it. I love it. Comes with this poster here. And the record's on Phantom Lure, which is a great label and seems to be run by some good people over there. But yeah, this is definitely worth grabbing if you can still find a copy. It might be sold out, but, you know, maybe not. Maybe you'll get lucky. And, you know, the band seems to be anti-racist, which some of you might cry like little babies about, but hey, fucking kudos. But yeah, I'm going to stop there. That's it for this edition of Records and Ramblings. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. But yeah, I will hopefully be back very soon. But as usual, thank you for living, thank you for loving, thank you for being you, and I'll see you guys next time. All right? Peace out, boy.